Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here again to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. Tonight, in one of her rare radio appearances, we bring you one of Hollywood's most idolized personalities, Miss Dolores Costello. With such noteworthy and distinguished players as Mr. Martin Koslick, Mr. George Zucco, and Mr. Ian Wolfe, Miss Costello appears in A Story of Today, played against the background of the New Order in Europe, a story of an oppressed people who use strange and effective methods in dealing with their oppressors and with traitors. The story tonight is called The King's Birthday, and was written by Corporal Louis Pelletier, AUS. And with the performances of Dolores Costello as the Danish Countess Elsa, of Martin Koslick as the Nazi Gauleiter, Reichmann, of George Zucco as Dr. Erickson, and of Ian Wolfe as old Peter of Cronwald Castle, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
They come to the castle almost every day now, the Gestapo, trying to question me. But it seems I'm very stupid. Somehow I don't give the right answer. Perhaps it's my advanced age. When they ask me about the night of the king's birthday, I get confused. I ramble on in the fashion of old people. Gentlemen, Kronwall Castle is 300 years old. For all those years, Kronwall has been a symbol of Danish liberty. Gentlemen, the sea waves beat against the rocks of Kronwall. The sea is deep. The sea knows everything. Ask her.
Stop babbling nonsense, you old fool. Answer my question. Did you know about those notes?
But of course, Herr Lieutenant. Everybody in the district knows about them. The note said Count Victor would kill himself on the night of the king's birthday.
Did you see the notes?
Oh, no, Herr Lieutenant. But the note said that Count Victor would kill himself because of his great shame. That I do know. And the note said the exact time, 12 midnight.
So you know the exact time?
Yes, I'm fond of clocks, you see. My father had a clock that told the time with a bird jumping out. The bird whistled, like this.
Stop that insane chirping.
Yes, Lieutenant.
I'll take care of you later. Perhaps I'll have something that will improve your memory. Stay there till I call you.
Yes, Lieutenant. There's nothing the matter with my memory. I could tell them a thing or two if I wanted. I could tell them how it all happened. It began 2 days before the king's birthday. That was the day the new Nazi Gauleiter, Herr Reichmann, came to the castle to see the Countess Elsa. I was told to show him into the library. It was cold and gray, and the sea was pounding on the rocks, very angry, like it always is in November. The new Gauleiter sat by the fireplace and warmed his hands and called for a glass of brandy.
And bring some soda, too, please.
Yes, Herr Reichmann.
How soon did your mistress say she would see me?
In a few minutes, Herr Reichmann.
You told her it was most urgent.
Oh, yes, I told her. She'll be with you soon.
I doubt it. Most women's idea of soon is the best part of an hour. In my country, we train our women to...
The brandy, Herr Reichmann.
Oh, thank you. Yes, in Germany we... Courvoisier. Where did you get brandy like this?
Count Victor can get many things that are forbidden to his countrymen, Herr Reichmann. Count Victor's cellar is well stocked.
Is it really?
Yes, we have meat at the castle. Nobody in Denmark has meat. Only Kronwald Castle.
You're lucky.
So they say. Shall I leave the brandy, sir?
Yes. But you stay here a minute. Tell me, what's your name?
Peter, sir.
Ah, yes, Peter. You have been at Kronwald since you were a child. 63 years. Am I correct?
Why, yes. How did you...
It's my business to know a lot of things, Peter. You don't approve of Count Victor, do you?
It's not my place, sir, to...
3 days ago in the marketplace, you were heard to make an indiscreet remark concerning Count Victor's collaboration with Berlin. I think a word very close to traitor was used.
Was it, sir?
What do you think?
I think, Herr Reichmann, the fire is in need of more wood. If you'll excuse me, I'll get some.
Do, by all means. And Peter.
Yes, sir?
Tell your mistress that I do not intend to spend all afternoon here. My business is urgent and...
You may tell the Countess yourself, sir.
Herr Reichman.
Oh, Countess Elsa, excuse me. I was just saying...
That's quite all right, Herr Reichman. Sit down, please.
Thank you.
Peter told me your business was urgent. I hope I haven't kept you.
Oh, not at all. My business is urgent, but as a new Gauleiter of this district, I might combine social pleasure with business and...
That's very kind of you.
I had hoped that my wife, Frau Reichmann...
Of course. You must ask her to call sometime.
Yes, I will. Although I have never had the pleasure of meeting Count Victor, it would be a great honor if he may call as soon as he returns from Berlin.
Certainly, Herr Reichman.
Thank you.
And this urgent business?
Yes, we come to that. Do you mind if I smoke?
Not at all.
A good cigar always makes unpleasant things easier to tell.
Sounds almost as if you had rehearsed that line on the way to the castle, Herr Reichman.
I did. And since it was ineffective, I'll be blunt, Countess.
I prefer it.
3 days ago, Countess, to be exact, on the day I arrived at Kronwald to begin my duties as a Gauleiter of this district, I found this note on my desk. Read it, please.
Count Victor of Kronwald will kill himself on the night of the king's birthday.
That note was on my desk in the morning. At noon, I found this one. Read it, please.
Count Victor of Kronwald will repudiate his Nazi collaborators. He will choose the night of the king's birthday for his death.
I thought at first it was some crank, but the notes kept coming. Then I heard that everybody in the district believed what the note said. In every house and shop and farm, they are saying that Count Victor is going to kill himself. You see why I said my business was urgent.
Yes, I see.
Not that I have the slightest fear for the Count's safety, but the writer of these notes must be found and treated with severe penalties.
You have no fear for my husband's safety?
Of course not. Certainly no anonymous letter writer could force the Count to take his own life.
I wonder.
What do you mean?
You wish me to be frank with you?
Naturally.
You know my husband is hated by the whole countryside.
What of it? People here are too stupid to know what's good for them.
Perhaps. But the writer of these notes seems to be a little less than stupid.
You think so?
If you knew Danish history, Herr Reichman, you might agree. For hundreds of years, the night of the king's birthday has been a special occasion at Kronwald. On that night, the castle renews its pledge of loyalty to the king and to Denmark's freedom.
A very theatrical gesture.
Quite. But if anyone wished to remind Count Victor of...
If someone wished to remind the Count that he had chosen our glorious Führer for his leader.
Yes. The night of the king's birthday would be, shall we say, the psychologically correct time to do it.
You reason well, Countess.
I know my countrymen.
Evidently.
I can see how these notes would inflame their imagination. If Count Victor were to take his own life as a public repudiation of his present political bonds, the whole country would be stirred to its depths.
I see. You seem to view the possibility of your husband's death rather calmly, Countess.
Like you, Herr Reichman, I have no fear for his safety. I am only presenting the political possibility.
Quite so. And since you grasp the full significance of the notes, you understand that I must take certain liberties in order to track down the writer.
Liberties?
Yes. I shall ask your permission to talk with Dr. Erickson.
Dr. Erickson?
I'm told he lives here at the castle.
Yes, but...
I should like to talk with Dr. Erickson.
Oh, as you wish. Peter will show you to the doctor's study. However,
my time is short, Countess. I understand Dr. Erickson is one of your country's able psychiatrists. I understand that Dr. Erickson is an authority on mass suggestion. His help should be invaluable.
Dr. Erickson.
Yes, Peter. Show the gentleman in. Sit down, Herr Reichman. Don't be alarmed about these mice. I'll remove them just as soon as Herman here gets through the maze. Watch him. He's really quite clever. I've been trying him on liver extract and... he made it. Good night, Herman. Now, off to bed. I've been expecting you, Herr Reichman. Please sit down.
Thank you.
You've come to see me about the notes. Am I right?
Yes, you're right, Doctor.
When I first heard about them, I said to myself, the new Gauleiter will want my theory concerning the type of mind which would be prompted to write such notes. I'll tell you my theory, Herr Reichman.
I don't want your theory, Doctor. I want you to answer some questions.
Oh, so it's like that. And perhaps you want a sample of my handwriting, too.
I'm not a fool, Doctor.
That's very possible.
How long have you been treating Count Victor for a certain nervous disorder?
5 years.
What would you say is his condition now?
You've never met Count Victor, have you, Herr Reichman?
No.
When you talk with him, you'll see no outward signs of his malady. It manifests itself only during periods of despondency. In the last few years, I'm happy to say that these periods have been infrequent.
Count Victor depends a good deal on you, doesn't he, Doctor?
Perhaps I've almost cured him. In return, he's given me this laboratory and also money for my experiments.
But you do have a great deal of influence on his mental processes.
Yes, Herr Reichman, I do. In fact, if I had decided to, shall we say, liquidate Count Victor, I would have written the notes exactly as the people say they are written. Like all nervous people, the Count would be highly susceptible to such a mental attack. That's what you wanted me to say, isn't it?
Yes.
We know then where we stand.
Almost. One thing more I'll ask you, Doctor. Count Victor had a brother who left Kronwald when Denmark was occupied by our troops. That brother, Christian, is now known to be working with the Danish underground. Formerly, he was one of your students at the university. Is that right?
Christian was one of my most brilliant students.
Do you know where he is now?
No, I don't. And neither does your Gestapo. That's the only thing we share in common.
You're a very outspoken man, Doctor.
I find it the best form of deception.
Do you think it wise to try to deceive the lawful government of your country?
Lawful government. You have a quaint sense of humor, Herr Reichman.
You may not find it so quaint. If Count Victor ever removed his protection from you.
He won't. When you've informed him of his impending suicide, as I presume you will, you'll see that he will need me more than ever. You do intend to show the notes to the Count, don't you?
Yes. I will present myself to His Excellency tonight on his return from Berlin.
Yes, his reactions to the notes will be most interesting. Would it inconvenience you if I were to be present on the occasion?
Oh, not at all, Doctor. I'd be delighted. Your own reactions should be most interesting, too.
Yes, Peter?
Count Victor asks that you and Dr. Erickson come into the library now, Countess.
Thank you, Peter.
Are you ready, Elsa?
Just a minute, Kurt.
This is going to be difficult for you.
Very. Kurt,
Yes?
how must I think? How must I discipline my mind? I mean, in thinking of Victor.
I don't know, Elsa. To me, Count Victor of Kronwald is no longer a man. He's become a symbol of fascism. The husband you once knew is dead.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Count Victor is the new order. The man I once knew is dead.
Sad? That's what the people think, eh? They think they can kill me with words? They can't do that to me, can they, Doctor?
Victor, please.
Look at this childish note. Count Victor will kill himself on the night of the king's birthday. Because of his great shame, he'll... Oh, great shame them, all right. They'll see that... Doctor, a little brandy, please.
Yes, of course, Sandy. Now, you mustn't upset yourself.
Who's upset? The whole thing is completely nonsensical, completely.
Of course it is. Ask Herr Reichman. His police have practically caught the rifle of the notes, haven't they, Herr Reichman?
Practically, Doctor. You have nothing to worry about, Count Victor.
See?
Doctor, tonight, if I need a sedative...
Certainly, Count.
I'll show them. I'll give them a dinner here on the night of the king's birthday. Everyone will hear about it. They'll see who's afraid. I'll give a dinner. Herr Reichman, will you be my guest at dinner?
With pleasure, Count Victor.
I'll light up this whole castle like a Christmas tree. And Elsa, you'll wear that gown you wore at the palace and your jewels. You understand? You'll wear all your jewels.
Yes, Victor.
Kill me with words, eh? It's words there. After I'll give them words. Herr Reichman, I'll make a statement to your newspapers the night of the king's birthday. I'll stuff words down the people's throats. And there's someone in particular who'll read what I have to say. Yes. My brother Christian. I want him especially to read it. Herr Reichman, Have you ever seen my brother?
No, Count Victor.
His picture was in that empty frame up there next to mine. I destroyed his picture.
Oh, Victor, you're getting excited. Dr. Erickson.
Yes, you're right, Elsa. Sometimes the strain of my work is too much. Dr. Erickson, you'll talk to me for a while before I go to bed, won't you?
Of course.
Talk to you, Count Victor?
Yes. The doctor has a way of calming my nerves. It's slightly hypnotic, isn't that it, Doctor?
You might call it that, Count Victor.
Count Victor, I'd strongly advise...
No. It's the only thing that helps me. I just go quietly to sleep while the doctor talks.
But, Count Victor...
Good night, Herr Eichmann. I'll expect you here for dinner on the night of the King's birthday.
Of course, Count Victor.
Elsa?
Yes, Victor.
Elsa, they can't hurt me with words, can they?
No, Victor.
They can't hurt me if I don't listen, can they? If I shut my ears, I'll be all right. I'll shut my ears. I won't listen. I won't listen. I won't listen. I won't listen. I won't listen.
Herr Gauleiter.
Yes, Lieutenant?
While you were out to lunch...
You didn't tell me. It's another note.
Yes, Herr Gauleiter.
Where did you find it this time?
I hesitate to... Speak up! Speak up! I found it, Herr Gauleiter, in the pocket of my own tunic when I was about to go on duty.
Never mind the details. I found one of them under my pillow this morning. Count Victor called me and said there was one delivered with his morning paper. The farmer came in here at 8 o'clock. He found one nailed to his door. Victor's got to stop, Lieutenant.
Yes, Herr Gauleiter.
Just as our Führer says. If you tell a lie often enough, everybody believes it.
That's true, Herr Gauleiter.
Is it?
Well, as the Gauleiter says...
Do you believe Count Victor will kill himself?
Oh, no, Herr Gauleiter.
Neither do I. But the Countess was right about one thing. If he did kill himself after all these notes, the effect on the people would be electrifying.
But you just said that...
I am talking about effects, Lieutenant. From what I have seen of the Count, he is too much of a coward to take his own life. But if someone else killed him and made it look like suicide...
Yes, it could be done. But how?
How? I don't know. There will be 4 adults for dinner. I have ordered 50 guards to patrol the grounds. 4 guards will be stationed in the dining room while we eat. No one can get near the Count. It's impossible to kill him. But in this strange country, you can't even trust the impossible.
They say the castle is guarded tonight. 50 soldiers.
They say the Count locked himself up in his room all day writing. A message to the people, they say.
They say the Gauleiter has 5 Gestapo men at the castle besides the soldiers. 1 Gestapo man is watching the food for poison.
Wait a minute, you. Taste that wine before you bring it into the dining room.
What did you say, sir?
I said taste that wine.
Oh, taste it. Why, of course. Ah, it's very good, sir. Did you doubt its quality?
Don't be insolent. All right. You take it in.
Thank you, sir.
And if there's any left after that food...
Well, I'll take care of you, sir.
Ah, more wine. Good boy, Peter. Good boy. Set it right here. We'll drink another toast to the king.
Victor, I think we've drunk enough toast.
Nonsense. This is the king's birthday dinner. We've got to drink to the king.
Oh, Peter.
Yes, sir?
Did they make you taste that wine before you brought it in?
Yes, doctor, they did.
What's this? What's this about tasting wine?
A simple precaution of mine, Count Victor. I hope you don't mind.
Mine? No, I don't mind, but you don't think that...
And now, Victor, you don't get upset.
No, sir, for the love of heaven, stop repeating that inane phrase. You've been saying that all through dinner. I'm not upset, not upset. I just want to know what's going on. What have I got to be upset about? Why, you're more nervous than I am.
I can understand the Countess's feelings. This is the first dinner I've ever had with 4 soldiers observing my digestive processes. Don't you think, Herr Wright?
I must insist, Doctor, that the soldiers remain.
Well, at least ask them to sit down.
The fighter.
Yes, Herr Gauleiter.
Your men may be seated.
Thank you, Herr Gauleiter. Sie können da hinsetzen.
And, Peter, go get some wine for the soldiers.
Yes, sir.
Everyone will have more wine, Peter. We're going to toast the king. What time is it, Doctor?
5 minutes to 12, Count Victor.
And I'm still alive. Peter, it's 5 minutes to 12 and I'm still alive. Go get the wine, Peter.
Yes, sir.
You know, Peter tells me everything they say down at the village. People say I have 5 minutes to live.
So, Peter tells you the village gossip.
Oh, yes. Yes, he knows everything. It was Peter who discovered most of the notes and brought them to me.
He brought you the notes?
Oh, yes. And the last one said... Oh, what did it say?
Victor, can't we talk about something else?
Why? It's a fascinating subject. Ask the doctor. He and I discuss it for hours. Well, the doctor told me about some sect on the West Indies that disposes of an enemy by simply writing the victim's name on a piece of paper and sending it to him. Same sort of nonsense being tried on me. Isn't that your theory, Doctor?
Well,
Dr. Erickson, in view of the Count's nervous condition, don't you think...
Gauleiter, my private life is my own affair.
When you work for the Reich, Count Victor, you have no private life. I repeat, Dr. Erickson, in view of the Count's nervous disorder...
As the Count's personal physician, I prescribe my own remedies. To know the truth about occult practices is the best way to guard against them.
Surely you don't think that...
In Haiti, Herr Reichman, I saw a man die after receiving a note with his name on it. I don't explain it. I tell you a fact.
You see? It's possible. It's a fact. Well, I could be murdered with pen and ink. It could be done in exactly 3 minutes. If my watch is right. 3 minutes to live. Where's Peter with that wine?
Oh, Victor, if you will excuse me, I have a headache.
You stay here, Elsa. No one leaves this room till midnight.
Father!
Yes, Herr Gauleiter.
Lock the door. Bolt all the windows.
Yes, Herr Gauleiter.
Two pieces.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Bolt everything. They won't come in here after me. They won't touch me.
Oh, Victor, you're being absurd. I
Countess,
ask you.
I think it's best to comply with Count Victor's wishes.
Yes. Humanly, my dear. You'd never forgive yourself if you treated me unkindly during the last 2 minutes of my life. Especially since you wished me dead so many times.
Victor.
It's the truth, isn't it? Count Victor. 2 minutes to live, Doctor. This is a good time to hear Elsa's confession.
If I may say a
You
word...
may not. Well, Elsa. It's the truth, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes, Victor. It's the truth. I wish you were dead. I hate every minute I live under your roof. I hate the things you've become. A Nazi puppet. I hate your sniveling, goose-stepping mind. Just as I loathe this fat specimen of the super race you've invited to dinner.
Father!
Now, let her finish her Gauleiter. Go on, Elsa, go on.
I despise you as a man. Your countrymen despise you. Even before the Nazis came, you were planning to sell us out. All that Grunwald has fought for down through the years. All that Danes should be. A proud and free people. You sold all that for a cast-iron Nazi cross. I wish you were dead, Victor. I wish your soul were rotting in the grave that's waiting for all these madmen of Europe.
Doctor, listen.
12 o'clock.
May God grant wisdom to our king and freedom to our people.
May Grunwald always keep the faith.
Who turned out the lights? Who turned out the lights? The fighter. I hear a door opening.
No, Herr Gauleiter. My hand is on the door. It is not moving.
Yes?
The fighter.
Count Victor of Grunwald.
I hear you.
Who is speaking?
I speak to Count Victor. He knows who speaks. Victor, this is your time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Now you die like a soldier, Victor. But your name will live on.
Victor! Don't do it, Victor!
Goodbye, Elsa.
Victor!
Have they found the body yet? They say the body was washed out to sea. But yesterday on the rocks, they found the Count's wristwatch and a handkerchief with the initial D on it. They'll never find the body. Say what you will. Count Victor was a brave man to take his own life.
Yes. He showed those Nazis that Dane could die for honor.
You know what the Nazis say? They say someone forced the Count to kill himself.
How could you force him?
That's what the Nazis say. And listen, they've arrested old Peter. They're trying to make old Peter talk. Peter won't talk. But if he did, I bet he could tell them a thing or two.
Yes, I could tell them a thing or two. I could tell them why they'll never find Count Victor's body. You know why? Because Count Victor didn't jump out of the window. How could he? Count Victor was dead 6 days before the king's birthday. No, I didn't kill him. He was shot through the head by his own brother Christian the night he came home unexpectedly from Berlin, 6 days before the King's birthday. Yes, I worked with the underground, and so did the Countess and Dr. Erickson. That's why Christian came here to see us. When the Count returned unexpectedly, Christian decided to try to reason with him. They quarreled and, well, Christian eliminated the slimiest traitor Denmark has ever known. It was then that Dr. Erickson got the idea for the note.
Listen, you're satisfied. Listen, Nicolite has never seen Count Victor. You'll pose as the Count and you'll stage your suicide. The moral effect on the people will be tremendous.
Christian agreed, and we started sending the notes. The rest was easy. We all played our parts, and Dr. Erickson coached us on the exact thing to do at 12 midnight.
At the last stroke of 12, Peter will turn out the lights from downstairs. You've got that, Peter?
Yes, Doctor.
Then what do?
I go through the passageway that leads to the hidden door in the dining room fireplace. I open the door and call out, Count Victor, this is your time. Are you ready?
And you, Christian?
I say, I am ready.
I call out, don't do it, Victor. Don't.
Then I break one of the windows. And you, Christian?
I go through the fireplace door and disappear.
Yes. And Count Victor of Frondwald has died for his country.
Well, that's how it was done. We planned it well, even to the putting of Count Victor's wristwatch and handkerchief on the rock where the Nazis would find them. Presently, the Gauleiter will question me some more. But soon there will be a note on his desk, and I can hear him saying,
Lieutenant, how did this note get on my desk?
A note? I don't know, Herr Gauleiter. What does it say?
Says, remember the night of the King's birthday. Your turn is next, Herr Gauleiter. Your turn is next.
So closes The King's Birthday, starring Dolores Costello with Martin Kozlek, George Zuko, and Ian Wolfe. Tonight's tale of Suspense. The producer of these broadcasts is William Spear, who, with Ted Bliss, director, Lud Gluskin and Lucien Marowik, conductor and composer, and Corporal Louis Pelletier, radio author, collaborated on tonight's Suspense. This is your narrator, the man in black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour in suspense with us again next week. Suspense will be heard at a new time, Thursdays at 7:30 Pacific War Time. Perhaps you will want to note this time. Suspense will be heard on Thursdays, beginning next Thursday at 7:30 Pacific War Time, and our play next Thursday will be The Singing Walls. Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here again to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. Tonight, heading our Hollywood cast are two noted leading men. One, Mr. Preston Foster, a star long established, the hero of many an adventurous film. The latest, the 20th Century Fox production, Guadalcanal Diary. The other, Mr. Dane Clark, a newcomer to the screen, whose auspicious debut in Action in the North Atlantic has made him warmly welcome in these parts. Mr. Clark appears tonight as a young man who awoke one morning to find himself in a very serious jam. And Mr. Foster is the San Francisco homicide detective who is willing to help his friend, up to a point. The play called The Singing Walls by Robert L. Richards, adapted from a story by Cornell Woolrich, is tonight's tale of Suspense. If you've been with us before, you will know that Suspense is compounded of mystery and suspicion and dangerous adventure. In this series are tales calculated to intrigue you, to stir your nerves, to offer you a precarious situation, and then withhold the solution until the last possible moment. And so it is with the performances of Preston Foster as Detective Denny Sullivan and Dane Clark as young Tom Cochran, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
Have another. No, drink it all. There's lots more. So a guy named Joe brought you, huh? You come up here from Joe's place? What's that? Oh, you don't even know where Joe lives, huh? Me? No, I don't know either. I never seen Joe before in my life. How you feeling now, kid, huh? Sure, have a little more. It's good for what ails you. Ah, that's nothing. You're all right. Sure, I know. Let's get out of here. I know a better place. Come on, I'll help you. No, that's not a window. It's bricked up. They put a building up right behind this one. That's right. It comes right out of the walls. Singing walls. Yeah. We got hot and cold running water here and singing walls. Have another. Sure. Bottoms up. That's the idea. Make yourself right at home. Hey, lie down. Lie down and take a little snooze. Sure. I'll be right back. What's the matter? Have a little trouble in here while I was gone? What's blood? Sure, blood. All over your shirt. Oh, him? Oh, he's all right. Just put him in the closet. Lock the door. Like that, see? Now you put the key right in your pocket so you'll know just where to find it. Don't worry. He'll be all right. No, I'm not going anyplace. I'll be back in just a minute. Here. Have another. I'll be back in just a minute.
No, let me out. Let me out of here.
Tommy.
Let me out of here.
Tommy,
No.
what's the matter?
No.
Tommy. Tommy, wake up.
What? What is it?
I've been knocking at your door the longest time. You were having a dream or something.
Yeah, what time is it?
Oh, it's way afternoon. You came in pretty late.
Did I? Toss me my bathrobe, will you, sis?
Don't you know what time you got in?
Not exactly.
Oh, Tommy. I know it's tough not having a job all these months, and I know you've tried. But this isn't doing any good.
I know, sis, but last night was the first time in a month, and anyway, it was different. I had a few drinks, but it was different. Something happened.
What do you mean something happened?
Well, it wasn't just the drinks. They were doped or something.
Oh, Tommy.
No, look, sis, it's not just an alibi. I don't remember where I was or anything, only that just now I seem to be dreaming about it.
About what?
About last night. I could hear you banging on the door all the time I was dreaming. And then it seemed as though I wasn't dreaming at all, that I was remembering a lot of things.
What sort of thing?
Well, it was all mixed up. There was a guy with a kind of a frog voice that kept giving me drinks. And I was sort of floating. Then there was a place that music came out of the walls. There was something about blood on my shirt. The key to a closet.
Why, Tommy, you're shaking like a leaf.
Yeah. It was a pretty scary dream. If it was a dream.
What you need is some good hot coffee. Now hurry up and get dressed and come on downstairs. Here, I'll get you out a clean shirt.
Yeah, I'd better wear the old one. I've only worn it once.
Oh, but it's all messy.
Yeah, it does look kind of... Mildred.
What?
My shirt, give it to me.
Now what's the matter?
Look, Mildred, that's blood.
Well, I guess it is.
I know it is, just like it was in the dream.
Oh, Tommy, don't be so silly. You must have hurt yourself somewhere.
But I didn't. Look, there isn't a scratch on me.
Well, then you got in a fight.
Maybe.
What else could it have been?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think.
Well, stop thinking and hurry up and get dressed. My goodness, look at the way you threw your clothes around last night. Trousers on the floor? Here. Oh, dear, everything's falling out of the pockets. I'll pick it up. You get dressed.
Thanks.
You didn't come home with much, did you?
Well, I didn't have much to start with.
Well, I'll put it all up here on the bureau. 25 cents in change and your keys. Now, hurry.
What'd you say?
I said hurry.
No. Before that, what'd you say?
I said I put your change and your keys up in the bureau.
Keys?
Yes.
Mildred, I only have one key.
Well, there are two there now.
I know. Let me see them.
Here. One's the key to the front door.
Yeah, but the other one.
Doesn't belong to any door in this house.
It's the key to the closet.
What closet?
Last night it wasn't a dream.
Tommy, what are you talking about?
Mildred, you better call Denny right away.
But he's on duty.
I know, but get him over here right away.
Tommy, what is it?
Last night, I think I killed a man.
Let me look at your eyes.
Listen, Denny,
Mm-hmm. You were doped, all right.
Well, I didn't know what it was.
Never mind that now. How much do you remember?
Look, Denny, I hated to bring you in on this, and I didn't know who else to go to.
Skip it. What's the use of having a brother-in-law who's a cop if he can't help you once in a while? How much do you remember?
Well, just what I've told you. Just like it was in the dream, only it wasn't a dream. You see, there was this guy, Joe, just some guy I'd known from someplace, I don't know where. See, I met him on the street, and he took me to the party. And then the guy with the frog voice began giving me drinks. And then everything got confused. And I was in another place with the singing walls and some harmonica playing or something. I don't even know whether it was in the same apartment even, but that's where the closet was.
What about the guy the dead guy?
Well, at first he wasn't there, and then he was. He was sort of slumped over in a big armchair.
Then Frog Voice put him in the closet.
That's what I remember. And then he left. And then I suddenly seemed to realize that the guy in the closet was dead, and that's why I got out of there. I don't know how.
You don't have any idea where it was?
No, I don't even know where the party was.
And you'd never seen any of these people before?
Except this guy, Joe, who took me to the party. And that's all I know about him, Denny. Just a guy named Joe that I knew by sight from someplace. I don't know where or his last name or anything.
Not much to go on, is there, kid?
No, not much.
A guy named Joe, singing walls, in a closet. Another guy with a froggy voice.
But I'd recognize him or his voice if I ever saw him again.
Tommy, you're in a jam. The way it looks right now, there's a dead man in a closet somewhere in this town, and you killed him.
Oh, but Denny,
Well, maybe you didn't. And if we find him before somebody else does, maybe we can figure out what did happen. But the way it stands now, you're it.
I know.
We haven't got much time, either. The place is an apartment. They probably would have found the body already, and I'd know about it. It's a hotel. They check the guests out by 6 o'clock. That gives us about 4 hours.
4 hours. For the murderer to find the guy he murdered. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Tommy, you know how I feel about Mildred. You know I don't exactly hate you either. You know I'll do everything in the world I possibly can to clear you.
Sure, Denny, I know.
But I'm a cop, Tommy. If you did it, you know I'm going to turn you in, don't you?
Sure. I know that, too.
Okay, kid. Now, let's start from the beginning. What about this Joe?
I don't know anything about him.
You know his name, you know his face. Think, Tommy, think.
I'm trying to. If I could only remember. If I could only remember.
So a guy named Joe brought you, huh? You come up here from Joe's place? What's that? Oh, you don't even know where Joe lives, huh? Me? No, I don't know either. I never seen Joe before in my life.
You still don't get it, Tommy?
No, I don't.
You told me where Joe is.
I have?
Sure, you see the sign over that saloon?
Yeah, Joe's place. But how do you know that?
Tommy, you were playing with bad boys last night. And this is where bad boys hang out, among other places. It's got a name. It's run by a guy named Joe. He minds his own business, as far as we know, but his customers don't.
So?
It all clicked when I remembered you said the guy with the frog voice asked you if you came up there from Joe's place. He didn't mean where Joe lived or anything. He meant this place. He thought maybe you were one of the boys.
Yeah, but how did I ever meet this Joe? I've never been here in my life.
He runs another joint, a respectable saloon. It's a sort of cover, about 3 blocks from our house, the Town Tavern.
Hey, that's right.
Remember? Now, Joe may or may not be in on this. Frog Voice made a big play to you that he didn't know Joe. He'd never seen him before in his life. His customers always cover him. It's better for them that way. If my hunch is right, Joe is going to be plenty surprised when he sees you walk in there.
Me? Walk in there?
Ah, don't worry. Just walk in and sit down at the bar. If you're not out in a couple of minutes, I'll know you recognize the guy and we're on the right track. I'll come in as though I didn't see you and go into the phone booth.
And then what?
Then we'll see. Okay, kid?
Okay.
Oh, one thing.
Huh?
If he offers you a drink on the house, take it.
Sure. Well, here goes.
What a be, Mac?
Here.
Well, we got some...
It doesn't matter.
Suit yourself.
Well, what do you know? Tell me.
Hiya, Joe.
Hey, what are you doing down in this part of town, kid?
Oh, I had to come down to see a guy. I didn't know you had this place.
Oh, just a little sideline. It's where I first started, you know.
Sure, I know.
One beer, that'll be 10 cents.
Hey, no, none of that. You gotta have one on me, kid. A real drink. What'll you have?
Well,
Scotch?
Okay.
Scotch for the gentleman, Larry. The very best. You understand?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll take rye. Hey, Tommy. There was some party last night, huh?
Party? Yeah.
Hey, where'd you disappear to? I was looking all over for you.
You know, that's a funny thing. I don't even remember.
I get it. Well, a guy has to cut loose once in a while, huh?
Here you are. One Scotch, the very best. And one rye.
Well, here's to you.
Wait a minute.
Hey, who are you?
This is my brother-in-law. Denny, this is Joe.
Oh.
Say, you must have got those drinks mixed up. You never drink Scotch, Tommy. You only drink rye.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, you take the rye and give Joe the Scotch, and I'll take your beer.
I don't like Scotch. I never touch it.
Okay, I'll take it. Thanks. By the way, Joe, you haven't got a little bottle I could pour this into, have you?
Say, who do you think you're kidding, bud?
I'm from headquarters. There's my badge.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I didn't know that you...
I suppose you don't know what I'd find in this drink if I took it down to be analyzed either.
Hey, now, look, I don't want any trouble. I never had any. They can tell you down at headquarters. Of course, it's a matter of dough.
You can't buy your way out of this one, chum. I want talk, and I want it quick.
What kind of talk?
Where'd you take Tommy last night?
It was just a little party, a private party.
Yeah, and they slip things in people's drinks there, too.
Now, I don't know anything about that. Now, honest, I hardly know the people.
Who's the guy with the frog voice?
Voice? I don't know any guy with a frog voice. Now, look, I told you I don't want any trouble. They can tell you that down at headquarters.
Listen, there's a narcotics rap in this for somebody, and it could be you. Where was the party?
Courtney Square West, number 75. Some people named Sorrell.
Come on, Tommy. You're coming too, Joe, just in case. Sorrell, A.J. This look like the place, Tommy?
Well, it looks like it. Could be. Everything has been so confused since last night.
Well, this is it.
It better be. Mrs. Sorrell?
Yes?
I'm from police headquarters.
Oh?
Mind if we come in and look around?
Why, no.
Come on, Tommy. You too, Joe. By the way, you two know each other?
His face familiar. I think he's been here on a couple of parties. We kind of get crazy parties. All kinds of people wander in and out. Is that what the trouble is?
It might be. Know anyone with a froggy voice?
No, not that I can remember.
Okay, let's look at the apartment.
Well, this is the hall, of course. And here's the living room.
Joe, you stay here in the hall. And you better be here when I get back.
I'll be here.
So this is the living room.
Uh-huh. This is the bedroom. Looks kind of messy now.
See anything?
No.
Over here's the kitchenette.
I see.
That's about all there is to it.
What's that room there?
Oh, that's just a sort of storeroom.
Yeah, well, I think we better look at it, though. Come on.
Well, all right. There, see? There's nothing much in it. An old armchair and a bed. We use it as a guest room sometimes.
Denny, that closet.
Oh, there's nothing in there. There's a lot of old odds and ends.
Open it.
Well, it's locked.
All right, unlock it.
I'm not sure where the key is.
And, lady, you better find it.
Well, I'll try. Be right back.
Is this it, Tommy?
Well, there was a closet like that. And a window just over there where that one is. And the armchair and the bed.
Don't you remember?
I can't, Denny.
Let me have that key.
Wait a minute. Here she comes.
I think this is it.
Try it.
Sort of sticks sometimes.
I'll help you.
There it comes. See? Just a lot of old junk.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on, Denny.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. Come on.
Well, I guess that's all, Mr. Sorrell. Thanks for showing us around.
That's all right.
Hello, Joe. Still here, huh?
You don't mind if I stay here and visit a while, do you?
No, I guess not.
Well, goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Well, goodbye and good luck, Copper. I'm sorry, Denny.
Yeah, that was a try.
Well, what do we do now?
I don't know, Tommy. I don't know. Think, Tommy. Think. We found Joe. Now, what about those singing walls?
That's right. It comes right out of the walls. We got hot and cold running water here. And singing walls.
Denny.
Yeah?
Listen.
What?
That's it. The singing walls. The music I heard last night.
You sure?
Sure. I remember the piece, the harmonica and everything.
It's coming from right around here someplace.
Denny, it's coming from their apartment, the one we just left, Sorrell's.
Well, come on. This must be the place, Tommy. The closet, now the music. They must have been pulling a fast one on us.
Well?
All right, quit stalling. Come on, Tommy.
Stalling?
You heard me. You two brushed us off pretty slick, didn't you?
Hey, now listen, I told you I don't know anything about this, but if you...
Where's the music coming from?
Well, from the radio.
The radio?
Yes, I turned it on in the kitchen just now when I started to fix dinner. It's a little portable. Here, see?
Okay.
I don't get it. What did you mean by
Skip it. Well, Tommy, here we go again.
I don't care. That was the music I heard. And that's the same number, and it sounds like the same band.
Hey, wait a minute.
Now what?
Where's your phone?
On the desk.
Tommy, look and see what station that's coming over.
All right. WBTA. The local station.
Thanks. Hello? Operator? Get me station WBTA. A radio station. I don't know what the number is. Just get it. This is a police call. Thanks. May be wrong, Tommy, but I got a hunch. Hello? WBTA? What's that band you got on now? I don't care if it's an electrical transcription or a Mickey Mouse cartoon. What's the guy's name? What? Turn off that radio. Now, what was that guy's name? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, where can we get a hold of this guy? Where does he hang out? I see. 5 nights a week, huh? That include tonight? Thanks. It's a small-time band leader, Tom. Harmonica Hal and his Harmoneers, he calls himself, and he plays at a place called the Silver Slipper out in the concourse. Come on.
Coming.
You better get on that phone, Joe.
You dumb. You would have to turn on that radio.
There's a Silver Slipper right over there.
Okay, let us out here.
Right.
Here you are.
Thank you, sir.
Look familiar to you around here, Tommy?
No. Oh, I'm afraid it's a bum steer, Denny.
Look, kid, here's the way I figure this music deal. You may have heard a recording of this band the way you did a little while ago, but there's a good chance you actually heard the guy himself. You know what time it was when you heard it?
Well, it was just night. That's all I know.
All right. They don't make recordings often of unknown bands, and this Silver Slipper isn't on the air. So maybe you were out here someplace and heard the band itself.
Maybe.
I know it's kind of a long shot, kid, but right now it's the best we got. Let's case the joint.
Okay.
Don't look like there are any rooms with closets in the Silver Slipper.
Say, what about that crummy-looking hotel next to it?
Yeah, I was just thinking. If you were in a room with a closet and all that, and you really did hear this band, that hotel's the only place you could have been.
Oh, I wish I could remember something.
The shape you were in, you probably signed your own name, too. Come on. By the way, what time you got?
10 to 6.
10 to 6. Deadline's pretty close, kid.
Yeah.
This better be right. What a dump.
If I could only remember.
Well, there's the clerk. We'll see. Say, you got a guy named Tom Cochran here?
Tom Cochran? I don't know.
It's all right. We're friends of his.
Let's see. When did he register?
Last night.
Sure, here it is. Tom Cochran and Ben Doyle, room 209. I don't think they're in now.
No?
No. I've been ringing them to see if they were going to check out by 6. I was just going to send somebody up.
Well, they were out at a big party last night. Probably haven't pulled themselves together yet. As a matter of fact, that's why we came to see them.
Should I ring again?
No, we'll sort of surprise them.
Okay, right up those stairs. But they got to be out by 6 or pay for another night.
We'll take care of that. Let's go, Tom.
Denny, did you see that handwriting on the register?
Yeah.
It was mine, all right.
This is it, Tommy. One way or another.
Yeah.
Here's 209. Don't put your hand on that doorknob. Oh, fingerprints. Use your handkerchief.
It's locked.
I got some keys. It's an easy lock. Here we go, kid.
Denny, this is it.
Close that door.
Yeah. There's the closet.
Give me the key. Here, you better hold my gun on that door just in case.
All right. Denny, look out!
He was just falling. He's dead.
Oh, gee, this is awful.
You remember now?
Yeah. But I can't put it together.
Let's have a look.
Oh.
Stabbed. Here's his driver's license. Benjamin Doyle.
Lord.
Give me it. Hello? Oh, yeah, we found him all right. No, they're going to keep the room for another night. No. There's not a thing we want. We're in for it now, kid.
Denny, look on the floor over there.
Clasp knife, covered with blood. That's what did it, all right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. It's mine.
Tommy, why didn't you tell me?
Honest, Denny, I didn't even know I'd lost it until I just saw it there now.
Fingerprints all over it. As clear as though they'd been made in sealing wax. Right-handed, aren't you, Tommy?
Yeah, right-handed.
Let me see your right hand. Doesn't take an expert to read these. Those prints are yours, all right, kid.
Yeah, I guess they are.
And you still don't remember?
Honest, Denny, I don't.
Can you think of any other explanation?
No, there's the guy with the frog voice, but I must have just dreamed him up. I don't know.
Well, kid, I guess this is it.
You did all you could, Denny. Don't feel bad.
We can plead insanity or something. Maybe we can prove you were doped.
Maybe. You better call headquarters, Denny. Let's get it over.
All right.
So where are you going?
I don't want to phone from here. The clerk will listen in. It's no use getting all the wolves on us before we have to.
Aren't you afraid that I'll...
No.
Oh, I won't.
I'll just have him send a detective car. You won't have to go in the wagon.
Thanks.
Better let me have my gun.
Sure.
I'll be back. Lie down for a couple of minutes. You look kind of sick.
I am. Oh.
That's the idea. Take a little snooze. I won't be gone long. Get a little sleep. Do you good. I'll be right back. Have a little trouble in here? Blood. Sure, blood. All over your shirt. Oh, he's all right. Put him in the closet. Lock the door. Key right in your pocket. I'm not going anyplace. Back in just a minute. Sure, I'll be right back. Be right back. Here he is.
You?
Yeah, me.
Hey, what are you going to do with him, Froggy?
Get him in the other room until his copper friend misses him and starts looking.
Now, listen, I don't want to be in anything like this.
Shut up. You're in it up to your neck. Come on, you. Get up.
Okay.
Get going. Up the hall here. Open the other door, Joe.
Sure.
Get in there.
That the guy, Frog?
Yeah.
Listen, Froggy, this don't look so good. There was people who knew you were getting ready to give it to Doyle, and...
Sure. That's why I framed this guy. All the trouble I went to. Doped him and brought Doyle in there when he was out. Planted the key on him, bloodied him up, put the knife in his hand. I still don't see how he ever came to in time.
Yeah, but he did.
So what? We frame him again.
Music?
You like music, don't you? You're pretty sweet about music, ain't you? Well, for your information, that's harmonica hell rehearsing for the night. And in this room, it comes through the window. On account of there is a window. But in the other room, it comes through the walls. On account of there ain't no window. catch on?
Better close the window, Joe.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, I do like music. Do you mind if a guy in a spot like I am hears a little music?
What about it, Froggy?
Sure. Leave it up. And let's have music while we work. It'll cover up the noise if he makes any fuss.
So what's the new angle?
Knock him off. Dump him in the park. Dead by his own hand. Remorse. We leave the gun beside him and plant some of Doyle's stuff on him.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, get going. Tie him up.
Right.
Yeah. Put a handkerchief in his mouth. Yeah. Put a cord around him. He's drunk, see? And we're taking care of him.
Okay.
Where's the car? Round the back. Nobody will see us going out that way. All right. You ready?
Just a minute.
All right, take a look. Okay.
All right.
Take a look out the door.
Okay.
All clear?
Yeah.
Let's go. Lock the door after we go on.
Okay.
Down the hall to the back stairs. Hey, what the...
All right, drop those guns and cover him, you guys.
I got him.
What is this?
You'll find out, Graziani. Get that gag out of the guy's mouth and untie him, Mike.
Sure. Denny,
I heard the music.
I hoped you would. I asked him to leave the window open.
I heard the conversation, too. Enough. Okay, boys, take him down.
All right, come on.
Say, who are those guys?
Graziani's a mobster. Doyle was one of his boys who double-crossed him. How you feeling?
Okay, I guess. That was kind of close.
Yeah, all the way around.
Yeah.
Look, kid,
Skip it, Denny.
I'm sorry, Tommy. Honest. I thought you did it.
Denny, until just now, so did I.
And so closes The Singing Walls, starring Preston Foster with Dane Clark. Tonight's tale of Suspense. This is your narrator, the man in black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour in suspense with us again next week at this same time, when Miss Lillian Gish and Mr. Otto Kruger will star in the suspense play Marry for Murder. The producer of these broadcasts is William Spear, who, with Ted Bliss, the director, Bernard Herman and Lucien Marowik, conductor and composer, and Robert L. Richards, the radio author, collaborated on tonight's Suspense. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here again to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. Tonight, in one of her rare radio appearances, we bring you a star who has occupied a unique place in the affections of moviegoers ever since the screen first became of age, Miss Lillian Gish. Appearing with Miss Gish are two distinguished players, Mr. Ray Collins of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer fold, whose current release is Thousands Cheer, and Mr. Bramwell Fletcher, who has ornamented many a stage and film success. There are only three players in Marry for Murder, which is tonight's tale of suspense. Only three characters in this story, whose beginning and end are shrouded in a dense down-east fog. The story of slow terror and swift death, planned by a brilliant murderer. And so with the performances of Lillian Gish as Letty Hawthorne, a frightened, neurotic creature who seemed destined to be a perfect victim, of Bramwell Fletcher as Mark Taylor, so handsome and attentive, and of Ray Collins as the lawyer, Philip Alden, who relates these events to us. We again hope to keep you in suspense.
I used to love the sound of foghorns on the bay, especially at night when I sat before the fire. Let their lonely wail weave a contrast between my snug comfort and the gray immensity outside. But I've lost my taste for them now. Lost it on the night I heard them moan a dirge of death. It's hard enough to lose a friend. But to lose one as I lost Letty Hawthorne is the kind of blow you never quite forget. I remember the first time I met her. It fogged up all of a sudden, as it does here on the Cape. But Ann Wentworth held her Sunday night supper as usual. Letty was the only stranger there, a newcomer to the Cape. I looked at her and thought she'd be an attractive woman if she only didn't flutter so much. She was a trim, pretty woman of about my own age, which is 40.
You're Philip Alden, a lawyer, aren't you? Oh, what a pleasure to meet so many nice people. There go those foghorns again.
Yes,
Does one really get used to them in time?
Well, I
love the Cape, but I can hardly bear that sound. So depressing, isn't it? So morbid.
Well, to your first question, yes, I'm Alden, an attorney. As for the foghorns, well, if you stay with us for a few years, you won't be able to live without them, Mrs. Hawthorne. It is Mrs. Hawthorne, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anne never gets around to introducing people. It's her only fault.
Oh, I never stand on ceremony. That's my fault if you consider it one. Besides, I knew you at once, you see, and you knew me. Don't you think that's a promising beginning?
I never thought of it that way.
Oh, dearie me. There it goes again. It makes me think of ghosts walking over my grave. How can you bear it?
They do serve a very important purpose, you know.
Oh, I suppose they do, but they give me the shudders.
As a matter of fact, I find them comforting.
Mm-hmm. I made Jane Hart promise to stay with me tonight if the fog doesn't lift. I daren't be alone. You see, I'm still a bit nervous.
Oh?
I've been ill, you know, and the doctor prescribed complete rest and quiet.
I see.
That's why I came up here.
Well, you'll find what you're looking for here, I'm sure.
Oh, do you think so? I do hope I will. My nerves are simply shattered. Mr. Hawthorne's death, you see. Such a tragedy.
I'm terribly sorry.
You see, it happened so suddenly. I can't quite believe
Can
that.
I get you some of Anne's cider cup? That's one of our Sunday night features.
Oh, thank you. That would be so nice. It's such a comfort to have a man take care of one again. You make me feel so protected. I know we're going to be great friends, aren't we?
I can tell you I worried a bit for a while after that first party. Letty Hawthorne was a charming woman, a bit fluttery, as I said, but still attractive and rather pathetic. I was afraid she was setting her cap for me. You see, I'm a crusty old bachelor, but even my friends were beginning to wonder. So it was with mingled relief and regret that I learned one day that Letty Hawthorne had transferred her attentions to another newcomer to the Cape, Mark Taylor. He was 8 or 10 years younger than she, a handsome fellow, but somewhat dissolute looking. I didn't like him. I may as well admit that from the start. But short of marrying her myself, there wasn't much I could do. Anyway, they seemed happy enough at first. One day after the wedding, Letty called me on a matter of business. I went down there after sundown. The three of us sat out on the beach in front of her cottage.
I'm so glad you were able to come, Philip. You see, Mark and I were counting on you.
Always glad to oblige you, Letty.
As a matter of fact, Alden, we want you to attend to a legal matter for us.
Yes?
Yes, Philip. Mark wants to make a will. I've told him I don't like wills. There's something so unhealthy about them. But Mark simply insists upon it.
Very sensible, I'm sure.
Oh, you men. You're all alike.
It needn't be a very elaborate affair, Alden. Just a simple document stating that I leave all my property to Letty.
Well, if he does that, Philip, I want you to make out a will for me, too. Leaving everything I have to Mark.
But, Letty, there's
no
need.
I insist.
Oh, well, Alden here is going to think I married you for your money.
Money? Oh, why, I really don't know anything at all about my affairs. Really, I don't. Frank, Mr. Hawthorne always used to say, Letty, I really think you know less about business than a child. I left the management of his estate entirely to his secretary. You know.
Well, just some simple document that makes my intention clear. You know the form, Alden. And, of course, if Letty insists...
But I do. We'll have twin wills.
Hmm.
It doesn't sound so frightening that way.
The way Letty talks about wills, you can tell she has a secret vice, can't you?
A secret vice?
My wife's a murder mystery fan, Alden. I didn't find out until it was too late.
Oh, Mark, you silly...
When you say that, Taylor, smile. I'm a detective fan myself. It's a busman's holiday, of course, but I always read the latest whodunits. If my father hadn't insisted that I follow in his footsteps, I'd have been a detective instead of a lawyer.
Really? How interesting. Tell us, Philip, do you ever get any cases like the ones we read about?
Well, if you want my opinion, the chief difference between fact and fiction is that the author of a novel wants you to see the pattern, and the author of a murder tries to hide it.
Oh.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, take your case, for example. You and Letty are making out your wills. I heard her say that she wanted to leave her money to you. But how do I know the idea just sprang into her head of its own accord? How do I know that you didn't plant it there?
Plant it? What do you mean? Why, what possible reason could I have?
Well, as things stand now, there's no reason for me to ask if you planted the idea in her head. But if Letty were found dead...
Dead? Oh, Philip, how dreadful. How can you even think such thoughts? Mark, darling, how terrible for you. Philip, you're to apologize this minute.
No, Letty. Philip was just trying to explain.
Well, I won't have him talking about such horrible things.
Of course, I didn't mean you to. I was just using you as an example.
Well, I didn't mean to be rude, Philip, but, well, you know my nerves, and it's getting dark. Oh, the bay is beautiful at night, of course, but I've always been afraid of the water.
That's why I've had such a time persuading her to come out for a sail. The Artemis has been tied up all summer, waiting.
It's just silly, I know. And I will go with you, Mark. But let's do wait for a calm day.
You know, Letty's idea of a sail is to sit becalmed half a mile offshore. My wife has perfect confidence in me, you see.
Oh, Mark, it isn't that. You're making fun of me, aren't you? Of course, I trust you completely, but... well, I'm not very athletic.
You're missing one of the treats of the Cape if you don't sail.
But I shall. Of course I shall, and soon. And what's more, I'm going to get Mark to teach me to handle the Artemis.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing your sails on the bay, then.
Oh, Mark, a storm.
I better be getting home before it breaks.
Are you sure you'll be all right? Oh, I'm simply terrified of thunder. Wouldn't you rather stop with us?
Oh, I can make it to town.
Stop by tomorrow, won't you, Alden? Or as soon as you have those papers.
Right.
Now, you won't be nervous after our talk of wills and murders. But of course you won't. I'm such a coward myself that I can never understand how other people can be so brave.
You know, Philip, Letty's helplessness is one of her chief charms. Sometimes I suspect she exaggerates it just to make me feel important.
Oh, Mark, you mustn't. Giving all my secrets away.
Well, don't worry about me or the wills, Letty. Someday you'll frighten yourself to death. There was little enough for me to go by. But gradually I found myself worrying about Letty and Mark. They didn't seem to be hitting it off. Oh, on the surface, everything was smooth. But I was haunted by a premonition of what I didn't know. It was only a nameless dread of something, some undercurrent of feeling. Letty's nerves were getting no better. In fact, she seemed more tense, more frightened than ever. Yet she was making an effort to meet Mark halfway. Many times I saw them out sailing. Only when Letty returned after a day on the water, she seemed pinched and white. While Mark appeared to be glowing with vitality, Letty grew paler and more distracted. I realized suddenly that she was a middle-aged woman. One day in town, I met them in the general store. They'd been quarreling.
But I tell you, Mark, you're just imagining it. I hate to have that stuff around, as you very well know. You read all kinds of stories about the way it gets mixed up in food.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, I'm sure there aren't any rats around the boathouse. I'd know if there were. I'm simply terrified of them. But I can't bear thinking of having poison around. Why, I'd be worried all the time.
Oh, Letty, for heaven's sake, stop being childish. I didn't put traps around because you didn't want them. Now that I'm trying to get rid of them in another way, you make a scene. I don't see why we have to go into a 3-act tragedy just because I want to buy some rat poison.
Hello, you two.
Oh, hello, Alden.
Why, Philip, how nice to see you. Mark and I were just doing a little shopping.
Philip, will you do me a favor? Will you please reason with Letty and try to get some sense into her head?
Say, wait a minute. This sounds serious.
Well, it isn't really. But, Philip, you know my nerves and the way things upset me, and Mark just doesn't understand. Oh, I know I'm just a silly woman, but the doctor says I have to be humored. And now Mark is so unreasonable, and it's such a little thing.
Of course it's a little thing, and that's why I can't understand your attitude. Now, look here, Philip. The boathouse is infested with rats. Wouldn't you say the obvious course of action would be to get rid of them?
Why, of course.
But poison, rat poison. Oh, Philip, don't you see how horrible it is? I mean, accidents do happen. I've always hated to have anything like that around just in case.
I've heard of children eating this stuff by accident. But you two people can take care of yourselves. Frankly, Letty, I think you're making a fuss over nothing.
Yes, that's right, Philip. That's just what I told her.
Well, very well then. But if I'm found dead, I hope you realize you'll both be under suspicion.
Seemed a foolish quarrel at the time. Yet when I left them, I kept hearing Letty's voice.
Very well, then. But if I'm found dead. Very well, then. But if I'm found dead. Very well, then. But if I'm found dead.
Suddenly, a monstrous idea occurred to me. I wondered if Letty had been trying to warn me. And then the horrible suspicion broke. All the trifling things began to add up. Letty's nervousness, her fear of sailing with Mark, her terror of having the poison in the house. But why? Why should she be afraid of Mark? What motive had he? And then I knew. I had helped to give him the motive when I drew up Letty's will. Yet my whole case was founded on thin air. Figment of a nervous imagination. I had to be sure. I had to keep an eye on them. I found myself making excuses. Excuses to drop by at their cottage.
Who is it, Letty? Who's there?
It's Philip.
Oh, Philip. Well.
Hello?
You're almost getting to be a member of the family.
Well, I just thought I'd ask you to help me eat the first bluefish of the season. There's too much here for an old bachelor like me.
Why, Philip Alden, if you aren't the most thoughtful person, how perfectly sweet of you. Of course you'll stay to dinner. We'll have a real feast.
Yes. You might as well stay as long as you're here.
Oh, thank you. If you're sure I won't be intruding.
Intruding? Why, of course not. And you can help me get the dinner ready.
Well, I'd be glad to, but won't I be in Anna's way?
Anna's gone.
Oh. Why, I thought you were well satisfied with her.
So we were, Philip. But Anna didn't seem to be satisfied with us. In fact, they've all gone.
Oh?
Yes. Anna and Elsie and Otto, the handyman. They just walked out and left us.
Well, for heaven's sake.
Well, since the ship and engine place opened on the heights, nobody can keep a servant. Can't blame them myself.
I wonder. I don't believe Anna'd take a job at the ship and engine. Anyhow, it does seem strange they all went at once, doesn't it?
Letty, I do wish you'd stop dramatizing everything. Ship and engine just opened, and the call went out for help. I don't see any mystery in the servants answering. In fact, it's their patriotic duty. And it's our patriotic duty to get along without them.
But it's so lonely here, especially at night.
Now, Letty, you're not living here by yourself, you know.
No, of course not. But all the same, we are isolated. Just the two of us. And you know how tricky my nerves are. I always feel so much better if the servants are around. After all, If anything were to happen, and anything might happen...
Letty, this isn't getting us any closer to our dinner.
Oh, of course. Now, you boys wear these aprons.
Oh.
Philip, since it's your fish, you may have the honor of cooking it.
All right, you asked for it. It'll be your funeral.
Now, Philip, Mark, you hold the berries for the dessert. I'll do the vegetables and set the table.
Well, for a seasoned bachelor, this dinner's a rare treat, Letty.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Philip. Oh, I don't deserve the credit. That bluefish was simply delicious. How did you manage to catch it all by yourself? I always think men are so wonderful.
Well, I'd be glad to take you both the next time I go fishing. It's good fun. Fresh air would be good for you, Letty.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Well, I'm still just a wee bit nervous about the water. Though I tried terribly hard, haven't I, Mark?
Yes.
I've been good about the sailing. But you know, I'm learning to manage the Artemis all by myself, aren't I, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
I don't write my name in the wake anymore, do I?
Yes, Letty's a real hand at the tiller. She'll be a better sailor than I am soon, you see. You'd have seen her take the Artemis into harbor the other day.
You did, all right.
Yes, she came through that channel with a breeze against her. I wanted to take it over, afraid she'd run into the mud flats. But no, she coaxed it all the way, and we came in under sail.
Yes, and I wanted to do it all by myself, even though I was terrified.
Well, good for you. Why, that's really a splendid accomplishment. I've been negotiating the harbor for years, but I confess that I have trouble every now and then.
Well, since nobody wants any more berries, I guess it's time to do the dishes. Now, I'll show you what a good hand I am as a dishwasher.
Wait a minute. That's my job. Here.
No,
Here.
I'll clean and wash. You two can dry, and you can dry.
Letty, what is it?
Well, you shouldn't have tried to carry that tray.
No, it's not that.
Why, Letty, what's happened to you? You look ghastly.
I'm afraid something I ate.
Here, you better lie down.
Oh, I'll carry her upstairs. Get a doctor, will you?
I'm afraid, Mark. I'm afraid I've been poisoned.
But great heavens, Philip, I just can't believe it. Arsenic, poisoning? Do you think Dr. Potter knows what he's talking about?
I'm sure he does.
Of course, we can't be sure till the tests are made, but I don't see. I don't understand.
It's not very hard to understand. Letty ate arsenic. How or where she got it, we don't know, but it's not difficult to guess.
But we all ate the same meal, you and I and she. Why, good Lord, Philip. Do you think we're poisoned, too?
I feel perfectly all right. You appear to be comfortable. I think we'd feel it by now.
But then how on
Let's
earth
be
did you...
perfectly logical about it. We all ate the bluefish.
Yes.
I prepared it. We all had potatoes and string beans. Letty cooked those.
Yes.
Then we all ate strawberries. You prepared them.
Why,
now, the fish and the vegetables were all served in large platters, and each one of us helped ourselves. Therefore, if any poison were in the food, we'd all be sick. But the strawberries, Mark.
See here, Alden, are you suggesting...
Wait a minute. We're just following this through logically. The strawberries were put on the table in separate dishes. The poison could have been slipped into Letty's plate in the kitchen.
Alden, you have no right to accuse me of this. Why, you're fixing up a case against me.
I'm doing nothing of the sort. In any event, I think you might worry less about your own skin and more about Letty.
Thanks. I think I can take care of my own wife.
Nevertheless, I suggest you get someone to help you.
I'm perfectly well able to nurse her myself.
If I were you, I'd have someone else as well. I'll send Mrs. Halstead over from town. She's an experienced practical nurse.
What I've always appreciated about you, Philip, is the way you mind your own business.
I'll be going now. Mrs. Halstead will be along as soon as I can get her. the doctor's analysis came, it was arsenic poisoning, all right. There were traces of arsenic in the sugar on Letty's dish. Letty was recovering. The dose wasn't large enough to kill her. Mrs. Halstead was installed as nurse and housekeeper. Just then business called me to New York, where I found myself worrying about Letty. I couldn't get her out of my mind.
Very well, then. But if I'm found dead...
I was bothered by a few loose ends in Letty's problem. The sort of questions that would occur to a legal mind. So I decided to spend an evening in the reference room of the law library among the files, where I found out enough about Mark and Letty Taylor to send me racing back to the Cape. And I knew I had to hurry if I was to prevent a devilish murder. It was one of those dull gray afternoons when I arrived at the station. The fog was so thick over the bay that it seemed to cloud the whole town. Cold fear gripped me. Letty and Mark, I learned, had left at dawn for a weekend sail. I could picture them. Murderer and victim. Shrouded in the gray veils of the fog. Drifting. Waiting. While the foghorns cawed a hoarse warning of murder. So, I was too late. The trap was sprung. With my newly gained insight into the affairs of Letty and Mark, I could have averted the tragedy, but I was too late. Or was I? If only they hadn't really left for that sail. I took the chance. Feeling my way along the Cape Road, I reached the Taylor cottage. Nobody was there. Then I heard noises in the boathouse. I crept down the slope and listened.
Oh, Mark, you fool. Philip Alden will be sure you planned to murder me for my money. I saw the suspicion dawn in his mind that day we made out our twin wills. I saw it grow when I was seen in the general store, and you brought the rat poison. And that night when I was taken ill, he was sure. Do you hear me? Sure! You wanted to teach me to sail the Artemis. Thought I was afraid of the water. Well, Mark Taylor, when your body drifts ashore, Philip Alden will swear that only an accident prevented you from murdering me. What fools you men are. Aren't you? Aren't you? Why wouldn't you like to answer me, Mark? Don't you wish you could talk to me again? To your helpless little Letty. But you can't, can you? Dead men can't talk, can they? But they say that in the instant of dying, a man can understand many things. Did you understand, Mark? But how could you? You are really a stupid man, Mark. Didn't you ever wonder about my former husband and his tragic death? Didn't you ever want to know about Frank Hawthorne? He did. At the very end, he wondered about his predecessor, George Martin. Strange how both died in a yachting accident, isn't it? Frank died off the coast of California, and George was drowned in the Gulf of Mexico. And now you, Mark, your body will be found someplace along the Cape here, I suppose. Oh, what bad luck I've had with my husband. But how thoughtful all of you were to leave me your property. Too bad I'm such an extravagant widow, isn't it? For I do run through money. I wasn't lying about that. Oh, dear, I wish you could help me get your body to the Artemis. If only you hadn't insisted on turning back when the fog rose, I could have killed you so much more neatly. A sudden gust of wind while I was at the wheel, and the Artemis jibes, and the boom catches you, and off you go to the bottom of the sea. But now, I've got to lug you back on board and pitch you overboard somewhere. It was really inconsiderate, Mark, to make me kill you in the boathouse here.
You won't have to drag the body aboard, Letty.
Oh, Philip, I'm so glad you've come.
Are you, Letty?
Something dreadful's happened to Mark. I'm so upset I hardly know how to tell you. Oh, Philip, I think I've...
You needn't pull a phony feint this time, Letty. I fell for it before when you made me think that Mark had poisoned you. That is, almost.
Why, what do you mean, Philip?
That was a little too smart, Letty, that poison scene. Because when I left you, I wondered about two things. Why anyone should be foolish enough to attempt that type of murder before an audience, and why, having attempted it, he should fail to make the dose large enough.
Why, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. You see, while I was in New York, I took the trouble to look up a few matters that were bothering me. And I found the newspaper clippings of your two previous, shall we say, accidents.
Oh, Philip, isn't it dreadful?
Still pretending. You're a clever woman, Letty, but I overheard you just now.
You'll never prove anything.
I think I will. You see, I found the motive, too. It was marry for money, marry for murder, wasn't it? I wouldn't try to run away, Letty. I brought a gun. You're coming with me to the police station. Don't wonder that you hate the sound of foghorns, Letty Taylor. You've spoiled them for me, too.
And so closes Marry for Murder, starring Lillian Gish with Ray Collins and Bramwell Fletcher. Tonight's tale of Suspense. This is your narrator, the man in black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour in suspense with us again next week, same time, when Virginia Bruce and John Loder will star in the Dorothy B. Hughes suspense thriller, The Cross-Eyed Bear. The producer of these broadcasts is William Spear, who, with Ted Bliss, the director, Bernard Herrmann and Lucien Marowik, conductor and composer, and Walker T. Field, the author, collaborated on tonight's Suspense. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.